Nou, welkom allemaal. Ik ben verheugd om te zien dat er zo'n grote opkomst is gekomen. Het is toch een thema wat veel mensen bezighoudt als je zo rondkijkt. Ja, we gaan dus kijken naar de projecten van de Design Academy Eindhoven en de Köln International School of Design. Daar gaan we naar luisteren, naar een presentatie en kijken naar een expositie. Projecten rondom de Tippelzone en de aanpak van straatprostitutie. Nou, ik zal me even voorstellen, mijn naam is Veronique Beurskens. Ik ben werkzaam als beleidsontwikkelaar bij de sector wonen, welzijn en zorg van de gemeente Eindhoven. Ik ben projectleider van de aanpak straatprostitutie. Ja, bij de uitnodiging hadden we wat extra achtergrondinformatie toegevoegd, wat nu eigenlijk de aanleiding was om zeg maar, 2 instituten vanuit een design-invalshoek te laten kijken naar een vraagstuk als de aanpak van straatprostitutie. Ik hoop dat iedereen die heeft ontvangen. Ik heb anders nog een setje, die kan ik nog ronddelen of in ieder geval klaarleggen. En als er te weinig exemplaren zijn, dan geef even een signaal, dan zullen we dat nog kopiëren. Ja, kort gesteld kan worden gezegd dat Eindhoven streeft naar het afbouwen of sluiten van een tippelzone, maar tegelijkertijd de zorg voor de vrouwen niet uit het oog wil verliezen en de leefomstandigheden van de vrouwen wil verbeteren zelfs. En daarbij tegelijkertijd overlast in Woensel-West, maar ook in heel Eindhoven, niet terug wil hebben. Dat is een hele lastige doelstelling. 2 invalshoeken die je wil invullen, wat misschien een beetje tegenstrijdig lijkt. Dus een hele opgave waar we voor komen te staan. Blijkt ook in Nederland dat er niet echt een pasklare oplossing is. Dus daarom hebben we ons heil gezocht in een andere benadering. Hebben we wat verder gekeken. Laten we eens een keer vanuit een design-invalshoek naar een sociaal-maatschappelijk probleem als straatprostitutie kijken. En misschien komt daar iets innovatiefs en een echte sleutel naar boven. Dus dat is eigenlijk de aanleiding waarom we gekozen hebben voor een andere invalshoek. En wij gaan nu kijken naar de resultaten die beide projecten hebben opgeleverd. Ik moet ook meteen zeggen dat het niet meteen een pasklare oplossing biedt, dat we zelf intern en met de partners natuurlijk ook verder kijken. Hoe kunnen we die gedachten die nu ontstaan zijn en sleutels waar we bij aan kunnen sluiten, hoe kunnen we daar verder handen en voeten aan geven om echt tot een daadwerkelijke oplossing te komen. Dan nog even iets praktisch. We hebben natuurlijk studenten van zowel de Design Academy als Keulen. Het zijn internationale studenten die alleen Engels spreken, dus die zullen hun presentatie in het Engels doen. Het zal vandaag wat door elkaar heen lopen, Nederlands, Engels, maar daar moeten we maar even een weg in zien te vinden. En ja, personen die daar wat last mee hebben, heb ik een collega Janine Kozijn. Die kan eventueel wat ondersteuning bieden of direct vertalen. En de dagvoorzitter heeft ook al toegezegd dat hij daar alert op zal zijn. I want to welcome the international students. We are very curious to see your results. And we will give you a summary of the results and conclusions of this day. But some parts will be in Dutch. You don't understand that, but we will try to translate this. Dan wil ik nu aan het woord aan de dagvoorzitter Rob Frank geven.
Dankjewel, thank you. Welcome, willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. I can sing it too, but I won't do that. Just for my information, who is not speaking Dutch or understanding Dutch? Okay, then I will be talking to this side of the room. No. Well, we noticed the problem rather late, so we hebben dat tamelijk laat gemerkt. So I will try to mix the day into a understandable thing for everybody, but I do my best. When you look around here and you notice what we are here about, the Tippelzones, and you know about overlast and criminality, and you see this image, 2 policemen, watching us, like they're observing everybody here. And in the middle, I don't know if that's their superior or somebody they picked up and have to arrest right now. It's totally unclear. But it makes it a very special day for me. I don't know why they are sitting there. I don't know why you are not sitting there. Is there a special meaning for sitting there? Because it's very intimidating. So I suggest that u bent gewoon deelnemer aan de conferentie. Misschien dat jullie gewoon daar gaan zitten. Ja? Just a question. Yeah, just for me. Do it for me. Just do it for me. Okay, was an observation. I prepared a short introduction in Dutch. So I'm sorry, but later you will know how good it is. Because somebody tells you. Nou, ik bracht de eerste 12 jaar van mijn leven door in de Den Tekstraat in Amsterdam. En dat was een overzichtelijke straat met zo'n 27 huizen van 3 verdiepingen aan iedere kant. Een gevarieerde populatie. Arbeidersgezinnen, maar ook een advocaat, een verzekeringsagent, een gepensioneerd inspecteur van politie, een importeur van speelgoed die om het leven kwam bij een vliegtuigongeluk op Cyprus. En om de hoek woonde Willy Walde. Dat was Snip van Snip en Snap voor de ouderen onder ons. Er waren 3 panden die ik vandaag wat nader wilde bespreken. Net om de hoek in de Nicolaas Zwitserstraat nummer 16, waar later de modeontwerper Max Heijmans zou komen te wonen, woonde Ma van Kolm. Ma van Kolm, de moeder der homoseksuelen, zeiden wij altijd. Want zo hoorden wij dat als 8-jarige van de oudere jongens van 10. Er kwamen heel veel homoseksuelen over de vloer en er gebeurden allerlei homoseksuele dingen waarvan we in de verste verte geen idee hadden wat we ons daarbij moesten voorstellen. Ik heb het thuis een keer gevraagd en kreeg te horen dat er slechte mensen kwamen die slechte dingen deden en dat ik daar niets te zoeken had. Dat snapte ik weer niet, want het zag er van buiten altijd heel gezellig uit en de gevel was lichtblauw geschilderd. Ma van Kolm hield waarschijnlijk niet van roze. Voor nummer 17 in de Den Tekstraat reden met behoorlijke regelmaat dure auto's voor, al dan niet met chauffeur. Er stapten chic geklede heren uit, alleen of met een aantal, en ze verbleven meestal een aantal uren in het pand waarvan de gordijnen altijd gesloten waren. Daar zitten de dure hoeren, wisten we, daar kun je neuken en dat kost een hoop geld. In mijn herinnering zag ik nooit een vrouw uit de voordeur komen, maar die zullen er toch wel geweest zijn. Een japjum avant la lettre, begin jaren 50. Een heel rustig huis, nooit een spatje overlast. En dat was dan weer anders op nummer 34. Schuin tegenover ons. Een koperen naamplaat op de gevel. Piet Zuidwijk, bariton. Maar iedereen noemde hem Haagse Piet en in plaats van bariton had er ook pooier kunnen staan. Haagse Piet, pooier. 3 verdiepingen met meiden van een ander allooi en allure dan de onzichtbaren op nummer 17. Altijd rumoer, leven in de tent, muziek, bloembakken die van driehoog op straat werden gegooid. Regelmatig de politie aan de deur voor de overlastbestrijding. En die keer dat er een gillende halfnaakte jonge vrouw de straat op rende, achterna gezeten door een halfnaakte man met een mes in zijn hand. We vonden het allemaal heel spannend. We waren 9 en de straat en wat zich daar afspeelde was de wereld. We dachten niet in goed of slecht, we beleefden onze jeugd als een spannende ontdekkingsreis. Ik was onthutst toen ik ontdekte dat je ook kon opgroeien in een straat waar geen bordelen waren. Er waren in die tijd geen heroïnehoeren en geen tippelzones en afwerkplekken. We hadden de Wallen. En in die tijd stond dat voor warm en gezellig. Gelukkig maar, want als dat ook het beeld van de straat van mijn jeugd was geweest, de tippelzones, de afwerkplekken, dan weet ik niet of ik op deze bijeenkomst daarover met nostalgie zou kunnen spreken. Maar niets is toeval en ik meende u deze persoonlijke herinnering niet te mogen onthouden, opdat duidelijk is dat ik een geschikte gids kan zijn in de materie die we vandaag bespreken. Dank u wel. Oh, thank you. Even people who don't speak Dutch applaud. Het programma van vandaag heeft u, dat is duidelijk. Ik zal proberen daar waar nodig. Ja, het is makkelijker om te vragen aan mensen, spreek je geen Nederlands? Dan steken ze gewoon hun hand op. Als je vraagt aan de aanwezigen, wie spreekt er geen Engels? Dan weet ik niet of mensen die geen Engels spreken hun hand op zullen steken. Ik kan het proberen, wie spreekt er geen Engels? Everybody speaks English here. That's fantastic. So we can try to do as much as possible in English. Our first speaker, Mr. Gijs Bakker from the Design Academy. Eh? You're a docent there? Head
of the IM Master.
You have no microphone.
No. But I later have the other one.
You want to have a handhold?
No, but I go to the...
Oh, you go to the... Yes. Okay, we
do together.
Yes, you're a headmaster?
Yes, headmaster of the IM Master course, part of the Design Academy in Eindhoven. A course that takes 2 years.
What is IM?
3 times the I. The first for identity, industrial and interior design. So we have got from the minister a long time ago the permission to start a master course based on those issues.
Interior design, is that your soul? But it's internal.
I think what would be nice if I should translate the wonderful introduction what this Amsterdam-based old friend of mine, well, we don't know each other, because he gave a wonderful story about prostitution, homosexuality in Amsterdam in the 50s. And it is only for the people that are of my age, of our age, that know some of the names. But now you also know what the introduction of my fellow man next to me was dealing about. Prostitution in Amsterdam 50 years ago?
Yeah. Okay, Gijs Bakker is going to tell us about the project of the Design Academy in English.
Yes. Okay, is it working? Yes. Thank you for the invitation, and it is well, a great opportunity to have the chance to give an introduction on the way we work, on the way we treat such a project. Tippelzone is a word that our students, coming from 12 different nationalities, will never forget in their career. It's one of the, most people when they come to Holland, they learn some of the terrible words, but all of them, they know now what it means, Tippelzone. It's very extreme to imagine if you come from Korea, Brazil, Japan, Taiwan, and from good old Europe like Italy, Austria, and the UK. Tippelzone. It is a kind of phenomenon that has settled down in our department in the past 3 months, and most of us had never been dealing with it. I think it's also good to tell that we have 5 mentors and 1 coordinator, and that is very important because those mentors all have very various different backgrounds and various different professions, such as product and landscape design, or fine art, or interior architecture, art history, or design critic. So it's a very various group of mentors that has been guiding our young students in this project. I heard very often during this 3 months project that people who are not in the field of design are asking me, what can designers do with prostitution? Aren't you just the ones that design good design, nice forms, best-selling products, or whatsoever? And it is a difficult question if they ask this. And the only answer that I could give to the people that came to me to ask this is to tell them, and that's my enthusiasm, to tell how our profession has been broadened, has been extended in the past, let's say, 20, 30 years, where design, and most people see design as that, only was dealing with industry. Industry being the commissioner, designers solving problems for the industry, and, as I said before, creating good design. In Germany, our colleagues opposite me, they even have an institute called the gute Form. It's good to know that the profession has extended since the last years, as I say, and I mean, separate or next to all kind of functional aspects, much more emotional aspects have come in our profession. Now designers have to learn to care and to think about people. It's also maybe in this context good to say that the success of the Design Academy, well, you know, it's because here in Eindhoven, is based on one of the things of the success, is based on the fact that when we started now in 87 with the new system, was based on the fact to put the human being as central focus point. There came 8 departments, all based on human being, about human being and living, human being and environment, human being and identity, human being and transport, free time, etc. That was very revolutionary and a complete other approach towards design, and a very good fitting in the period of the late 80s. So with our students, we speak and we learn about who we are, why we act, and why we think the way we think. What means our environment for us? What is the attitude towards global thinking? These are just some. So instead of only being technically involved by creating new forms, we are much more concerned about our society where we take part in. And this question came very often to me because I'm myself at this moment, I'm involved with prostitution in Amsterdam, where they don't have a Tippelzone anymore, as all of you know, I guess, because you all are involved, but where they have set up a system not to get rid of the prostitution in Amsterdam, in the Wallen district, but to get it under control again. And one of the things that the Amsterdam City Council has organized together with the owners of the housing corporations is to create the red light fashion. And the red light fashion is a way to get another input in an existing situation where the situation was 100% dominated by the black money, mafia kind of people, and they try to get them out. They succeed by buying back the buildings, and in some of the buildings they give it over for the time of a year, 1.5 years, for young people to start their career. This was in fashion. And in September they will open a second red light, but that will be red light design. So you can understand why this question comes to me. What do designers have to do with prostitution? As I say, a lot. The City Council of Eindhoven came with a very clear brief to us. And if I translated the brief, because it has always many pages, but if you get the message was, how can we change the ongoing process of investing money in a never-changing problem with drug-addicted prostitutes? That's our shortcut of the brief. So when we started the project, we have asked our students to investigate the situation in their home country. And they have been getting together, they have made groups, and they came from the same part of the world. And we have got an introduction, very interesting for the students amongst each other, and very interesting for us mentors and teachers to follow this. Because you know, but you forget that prostitution in every part of the world has a completely other history, has another culture, is completely different. For instance, in Brazil, where sensual body culture is a daily activity. The ones that have been in Brazil, I was there once, you feel yourself as a northern person, quite stiff and rigid. Korea, South Korea, Drug addicts just end up in jail, no problem, solved, in jail, basta. Japan having a highly cultivated prostitution tradition, we know from the geishas, etc. But it's nice to hear that from a young Japanese designer to get again the history of prostitution in Japan. And I now speak for the UK as being the old European. For them, it's all there, but they don't see it. I think it's a very British way of looking to, and he agrees with me. But now the Dutch situation, where all the problems are highly under control. At least that is how our students are experiencing it. Everything is organized, unbelievable, strictly organized, in rules, in systems. Eindhoven is perfect. There is a sustainable steel working area, including dustbins, neatly hidden behind the railway. Of course, we travel from Amsterdam to Eindhoven, so we have been sneaking out of the windows of the train, and indeed, you can't see if your neighbor is going there. A waiting room where no strangers are allowed to come in. But fortunately, young people, young students, they don't follow the law. They try to escape. They go their own way. And they have been speaking with the prostitutes in the cabin of the Salvation Army and have been even working with them, trying to set up some experiments. And it's so hilarious when you hear from one of the students a story, and that is a sample of how we are pampering our problems. A prostitute comes in dressed as a queen, behaving as a queen, and she denies first a tomato soup, secondly she denies a vegetable soup, and at the very end she says, well, I'm busy, I'm going to work. And nobody is looking strange, but for my students, it's for them a symbol of, as they say, an over-pampering of the Dutch way treating these kind of situations. They saw how they bring in material to work together. Some of the ladies just put it in her bag because it was a gift, she thought. No, it was not a gift, it was something to work with. But nobody even could interfere and to tell this is part of the project. It was all accepted. The ladies were the queens. All these observations and all these aspects have been the input, have been the motivation for the students to come up with ideas, to come up with thoughts, and to come up with ideas to try to stop or to change this ongoing system. You will, after my short introduction, the students will take you around. They have a microphone and they will shortly explain to you their projects. I don't know if there's time, but it would be nice if you have questions that you just come up with questions, because that makes it interesting for all of us. But you will see and hear projects such as from Tippel to Top, another project named Multi-Story Car Park, another one, the Firefly Empire, unbelievable title, sorry. Another one, from location to non-location, and the last one, between fake and real. Part of the projects what we do, and that is a kind of system we have in our master course, that students in the first year have the third trimester working with a commission. And that can be an industry, that can be a city council, that can be a project manager, corporation, whatsoever. Like in the past, last year, we did a project in Amsterdam in the Dapperbuurt to create situations that make identity of the neighborhood more visible. And that means the identity of all the different cultures of people that are living there. And the year before that, we have been working on creating a new identity of a new of a new courthouse, shortly to be built in Amsterdam, in a new island in the E in Amsterdam. It was recently in the newspaper that this island will be built in and ready in 2012. So also from this project, we will, and are already busy in organizing and making a publication, and that is named Source, and it will be number 3 or it's number 4, that I will ask to Louise. And for the ones of you that are interested and that are not named by the Design Academy, it would be nice if we could collect your mail addresses. Could you do it? Oh, there's a list, but then clearly name and mail address. So then we will send this source publication personally to you. I would now like to invite you and follow the students of the IM Master, and they will, if this is okay with the organizer of today, Mr. Chairman, can I say this? Yeah.
Yes, you can say whatever you want.
Thank you.
You can. We are a free country. It will take till 12:15, and then we all come back here, where the wethouder. What's the elder man? But she's a woman. Yes, we'll talk to you. And then we have lunch. Well, it's a very easy conference, yeah? Light going. Gijs, thank you. What I liked in your presentation was one sentence, especially that, yeah, okay. You said something like going to Brazil, yeah, looking at prostitution there, and feeling quite stiff and rigid. That's especially what it's all about.
You exactly understand what I mean. But it is, but you will also hear when the students are explaining their work. Joanna will tell this story again because she is Brazilian and spokeswoman of her group. And she could, in her first presentation, so visually and lively, all the 3 of them, declare how sexuality, touching, caressing, dealing with each other, is a daily activity. I mean, on the beaches, if you have ever been there, people are almost naked. So, I mean, it's body culture is something.
Take them like the Rettenverringer of Hemelen. Outside.
Okay, I do. Okay.
Chairman. It's a free country, like you said here on this side. I would, yes. You started to divide the group in English-speaking people and not English-speaking people. Further on, you divided the people in police and not police. I would ask you not to divide groups, but to do this together. We have a problem as a whole. The police is here to solve the problem as well. Could you try to not isolate people? The reason why these policemen were sitting here is because psychology seeing people hesitate to sit here because you have to walk through in front of a whole group. The police is used to that, so that's why the policemen were sitting here. We try to integrate with everybody. We try to work together. Please, no division anymore. Is that possible today?
Of course.
Thank you very much.
When I was young, when I was young. There was a radio program, Barend Bluff, and there was a song, and it was "De politie is mijn beste kameraad." You know the song?
I know it very well, that's why I joined. And if you live by that song, I would like that.
I live by that song, yeah?
Thank you.
Okay.
Ik zeg het altijd. who will be the first? Have you been decided how we will go? Okay. I come?
Of hoor ik, nee, hoor ik, wist ik, dit kan ik. Even kijken.
Sorry.
Well, it's, yeah, I speak.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, as I said already, the first introduction will be the project multi-story car park. And if you try to gather around here with the big black podium, then the students will give a short introduction of their project. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so firstly, good morning and welcome. I'm Mike, and this is Mamie. As I said, our project is called Multi-Story Car Park. So to begin with, whilst absorbing information relating to this project, it became very obvious to us that this isn't a problem with a clear solution. The negativity surrounding the Tippelzone at Vunsel West compounds the problem. How does placing addicted prostitutes in areas on the edge of society help? Centralising the zone, in our opinion, and making it more visible acknowledges the problem of addiction and offers the women something they've never been given: hope. The system that already exists, although not perfect, yes? Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm the British guy, that's why. The system that already exists, although not perfect, offers a safe environment for the women to work within, where the women are protected and given free medical care and counselling. As a caretaker for the zone put it, if you close the zone, the women will go onto the streets. You can't force the women, you cannot change the women. This acted as our starting point.
So, first of all, we took the programmatic approach to rehabilitate the woman. But after having the opportunity to talk further with the people in know, Adolio from the Salvation Army or John from the Nordic Kingdom, to name a few, and reading interview taken with both prostitute and caretaker in Eindhoven, and it became obvious that this is not the solution. So we would like to mention the few key quotes. The Adolio said that the woman wants to be anonymous as can be, it born and needed. And also to face the problem and see it as it is. Also, Jürgen Cornelius from the police officer said that the public has the wrong perception of the addiction and prostitution. And also he said, speaking about drug addiction and prostitution, you only see it when you want to see it. So this legal sense of the both prostitution and drug addictions in our country, England and Japan, seems somewhat archaic in relation to the system in place here in the Netherlands. What we have to notice through is this, because these issues are on the agenda, so they are somewhat more visible than we are assimilate to. We believe this is a positive step, and visualizing and centralizing. And this is going to be our the thinking key.
Okay, so considering all the aspects of our research, we form the following opinions. Firstly, a legalized police zone is a safe zone. You can't force the women, but you can provide the possibility for the women to gain assistance. The clients desire street sex with addicted prostitutes. Therefore, maintaining the atmosphere of the Tippelzone is important to maintain the client base. Closing the zone will not stop street prostitution in Eindhoven or the demand. Addiction is an illness. Normally, society acknowledges the ill and attempts to offer help. Why should addicted hookers be seen as being any different? Public opinion towards women is wrong. Therefore, we need to address the negativity surrounding them. And placing problem social groups, such as the Tippelzone hookers, on the edge of society does nothing to help the situation. Rather, it compounds the problem. They effectively give up, feeling that society will not give them a chance.
Based on this concept, we have about 5 aims. Like, one is a positive aim, making the creative the self-sustaining zone for street prostitution, and also created a positive image both prostitutes, workers, and also the city of the Eindhoven. And also, within acknowledging the addicted are part of the society should not be marginalized. So our idea will be to create a zone from the existing scenario within the city, which is here, can be self-sustained and dual purpose, used commercially in daytime, and also after that, it's going to be street prostitution. And next one is within considering the architectural space with the society center, car park offered many possibilities, such as the revenue create the regular use for the car park could be used to pay for the running cost for the Tippelzone. And car parks already have the tight security, can be used for the security for the Tippelzone too. And multi-story car park next to the Media Mart between the police station, which is help them to have a high security. And car park as a follow architecture structure providing space for the living room and other facility for workers such as healthcare. And concerning the drawing our research, we are lucky to meet John from the Novi Kennington, who kindly to see and let us, he take us to go to the night shelter at the bottom of the car park. So this leads possibly to centralize the care for the more problematic social group within the one building and central in Eindhoven. And also visuality, not hiding this problem to make it more visual, centralizing the zone and making the building more visible, we acknowledge the problem of the addiction.
Okay, so to the concept. The Tippelzone is effectively picked up from the site of Wunsel West and placed on top of the multi-story car park on Mathildelaan. The zone is given a design upgrade where the original atmosphere of the zone is maintained, yet the identity is made more prominent. The contradiction here is a need for both visibility and anonymity. In this instance, we combine the two words to create anonymity, to be visible yet anonymous. Anonymity is extremely important to both prostitutes and clients alike, who do not want to reveal themselves or their secret liaisons to the rest of the society. As a vessel, the car park offers the client to drive in and out with their intentions unclear. Are they going to park or will they visit the Tippelzone? The action of receiving a ticket on entry and paying on exit adds to this layer of security, effectively buying them a veil of secrecy. The issue of anonymity is of equal importance to the prostitutes, both in terms of security and their private lives. So, if you like to come closer, you have a look at the model. The curtain for us, which is basically the facade on the top of the building, acts as a source of inspiration. As a mechanism, it too is a contradiction. It isolates whilst offering proximity, offers opacity whilst offering transparency. By utilizing the notion of the curtain, we can achieve this anonymity, which we just mentioned. The curtain, with its connotations of window prostitution, already fits the subject. However, by using this idea of opacity and transparency, we can create a new visual feature. The crown-like shape of the curtain symbolizes, in a kind of abstract way, the queens of the night, which work the Tippelzone. Prisms embedded in the metal curtain facade refract the light from car headlamps, making the light shimmer and dance like jewels on the crown and creating a visual icon in the city. An interesting parallel to make is in regards to the public's perception of addiction and prostitution. To refer back to a quote we mentioned earlier, you only see it when you want to see it. Our concept hinges on the notion that visibility is key to changing public perception and highlighting the problem, albeit in an abstract manner. This abstraction, whilst visible, maintains a level of anonymity, creating beauty from something that society considers to be ugly. Anybody have any questions? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Well, actually, one of the interesting things from our research is that the homeless shelter we found out recently is already placed in the basement of the site at Matildalaan, which effectively gives us the opportunity to combine all these, to combine healthcare and counselling within one centralised structure in the middle of the city. Which we think is, you create basically a structure which is an icon for dealing with social problems within Eindhoven. So we would still maintain a living room of sorts, similar to what already exists within the Tippelzone. But the idea would be with a centralised place. From our research, speaking to Adrio from the Salvation Army and other people from Novatic Kentron, that a centralised area is extremely useful in dealing with these problem groups. And of course, I think it's also important to separate out addiction from prostitution, because obviously prostitution is legal, addiction isn't to a certain degree. And so the fact that the people who already use the homeless shelter tend to be addicts, it means that we can utilize this structure and add something new to it, which would basically create a more centralized hub.
I interrupt here because we have 45 minutes for 5 presentations, and you took double the time you had. And it's no problem because it goes off the lunch. So, and that's what we offer for it. But I ask your colleagues, the next 4, to don't exceed 9 minutes for the presentation. Brief, but brief doesn't mean not clear. But Gijs does not promise. Okay.
Okay, the next one will be... Oops.
Hello to everybody. This project will prepare in 3 persons. I'm Simone, Andrea and Shiro from Japan. Obviously, when we started this project, we looked at the actual situation and how the Tippelzone is. Currently, addicted prostitutes are working in a location at the border of the city, specifically created for them, but without any type of identity. We can say that it's a nowhere that exists only during the night. In the decision to confine the prostitute there at the border of the city is like saying that they are not part of our society. What we think is that the situation does not improve for the better as long as there will be the idea of a problematic place where the problematic people work. Then we look at the problematic at the Tippelzone, drug addiction and prostitution. Well, if we think at prostitution, we know how it's allowed here in the Netherlands, and also drug consumes is permitted. So which is the main problem? Well, probably that it's on open air. As it was right in the brief, it is in a way contradictory that the local government facilitates an activity that they in fact do not want in their city. Therefore, we suggest few solutions. At first, create a space where more than one activity can take place, and where night activities and day activities differ. Instead of hiding street prostitution in nowhere, as it is now, the concept of isolation might be amplified while using existing mental boundaries like night and day. So we said before that open-air dimension is the main problem. But if we look in Amsterdam at Vondelpark, gay cruising is permitted at night, legally permitted. And in the Rose Garden in Eindhoven, it's just tolerated. Why? Well, we think it's because nature permits to create a cover, a visible-invisible effect, that it can easily hide certain behaviors. Moreover, parks are areas which are not used in the night. Then, as the last argument, green areas in situ represent nature. If we consider nature as an abstract concept, we connected it like concepts like instinctivity, freedom, free time. that we oppose to rules, community time, and so on, which are typical of the city in the daytime. So we can say that green areas are the natural scenario for all this non-conventional activity. For all this reason, we propose to contextualize Tippelzone in a green area. For it, we choose obviously Wonsel West, close to the Tippelzone, for different reasons. The first one is that in the brief there's a right that we need to give a better quality of life for Wonsel West. But we don't think that just taking away Tippelzone is a way to improve the quality of Wonsel West. Why don't we create a beautiful green area for Wonsel West, where in the center of it we also add Tippelzone. In this way, we can give back to Wonsel West a new value. But still we need to also improve and to give services and care to this group of prostitutes. For this reason, we thought on the top, we added sub-locations where all different associations can be placed, like rehab centers, AIDS Foundation, Methadone Center, Salvation Army, Psychology Center, and why not also university. This is because we think that we really need to, instead to have a zone where we just allowed prostitution, we need to have a zone where all this problematic connected with Tippelzone are really part of this zone. I mean, if we have police or psychology, sociology departments or rehab centers, the perception of person of this zone will be not just, oh, it's a place where the prostitutes are, but there is a place where we solve the problems connected with it. Also, we think that if we group all associations in just one big, probably also we can avoid the waste of money that probably it is now, because all these associations are spread in the city. After this, we decided to concentrate in the design of the Tippelzone, and we prefer to propose an idea that it's an utopical view on the project, an hypothetical new venue, instead of precise and detailed organization of the park. We call it the Firefly Empire. It's an utopian state, a small island that, as the Tippelzone, appear only during the night, using a system of canals and water. The imaginative space is located in the middle of the park, and during the day it is used for normal activity. During the night, through a system of canals and water flows, the water will surround the imaginative space and will turn into an island. A flag will be raised A flag will be raised and the prostitute will be free to live with their own rules, their time, their desires. In the daytime, no boundaries will be visible. Every person can enter the area just to enjoy beautiful Baroque labyrinths, where love couples might find small niche for kissing and chatting. In the nighttime, sex trafficking will happen in the same niches. Romanticism and sexual commerce will live in the same space, interchanging day and night. The Tippelzone will appear as a ghost island where behaviors and rules are different from the normal society. An independent state that exists only during the night. The surrounding water will have the same meaning of the glass and windows in the red light district. The illusion of distance. About the name, Firefly, it's because me and Andrea, we come from Italy, and Firefly is the name of the prostitute in Italy, and it refers to the cigarettes along the streets that moves in the night. But then we look at the insect itself, and fireflies are characterized by sexual dimorphism. That means that only males has wings and they are able to fly. Instead, females remains larvae for all the life. What we propose to call it like Firefly's Empire is to bring back the word to its primal meaning, to invent a new mythology that refers to existence of this particular group of prostitutes. The shape of the island refers to the traditional form of a fortress city, as also Eindhoven once was. We choose it as a symbol of the necessity of protection and isolation that the prostitution have. Located in the fourth most external points of the island, some archetypical shapes of houses that are integrated with nature will be the waiting points for the workers. The first communication between prostitutes and customers take place while they are still separated by the water. In the middle of the island, there will be the White Tower, a location for all the social, medical, and safety caretakers. Thank you.
If there are questions,
Maybe my English is not as good enough, but I understood several parts now. For example, how do the customers come there? It's a park, they can't drive with the car, so they have to walk. The second question is, what happens if it rains? Third question is, do you really think that we're handling with not love-making prostitution, we are working with violence and brutality, and these women work there and then have to walk through a whole park home. So do you think it's safe for them? They will like it? And how will they be escorted? Because they don't have cars, they don't drive with the bus, they don't have a driver license or something. Have you thought about this?
Sure, and at first the park is in Wandsworth West, and it's really close to where the Tippelzone is and where the prostitute lives. The problems of the water I don't get, because they are prostituting themselves outside as it is now. Then there's a street around the island. But what I want to, I think you have also to understand that, as we said before, this is a really utopical view on a project, and we've done it because we think that simplification is not a solution. If you look at the Tippelzone now, it's just metal pieces along a street. Obviously, it's a bit over the top, and we can say that it's really over the top, but it's exactly what we want to reach with it. There's a practical part at the beginning, and really think that the green area can work for them. But then this is just a way to underline the fact that metal pieces along a street cannot be a solution. That we can join things together, that it's really important that person can go in this area. It cannot be, we cannot create a zone for them and that's it. It's like isolating them in a way that we don't think it's useful. So it's really like a proposal that it's made to stimulate a different point of view. View. It has its problems, but we think it's a way that we can really do. I mean, it's really important that we have to integrate all the problems. We cannot just have, simple solution. We don't think it's a problem. This is over the top, obviously, but for the cars enter there and it goes in it, and then only a few streets will be open, and it's quite simple, the structures in the middle. So we think a bit about it, but we leave all these technical problems a bit on the side because we prefer to make the research more practical.
Okay, thank you. There are of course more questions, but I think we have to continue to the next project. Okay, thank you. Okay, the next project will be from Tippel to Top, and here's the microphone.
Hello, good morning. Well, my name is Andrea, this is Davide, this is Joana. We are 3 Brazilians. And well, in our perspective, the Netherlands already managed to solve its prostitution and drug problems really well, organizing it in an admirable way. And we would like to give our compliments. Well, making some comparisons between the 2 countries, Brazil and Holland, for instance, looking at the numbers of prostitutes, we were astonished to see the large disparity in scale. We want to give a sense of our perspective on the actual size of the problem. After all, in the whole city of Eindhoven, we are only talking about 20 addicted prostitutes. This makes us wonder why Dutch society wants to be so perfect as to not even be able to accept that a small percentage of the population will always be a bit problematic. Besides, we strongly believe that there will always be an underground that is impossible to control. We don't see perversion and fetish for the subversion as a sickness at all. Recently, Ronaldo, the famous Brazilian soccer player, picked up 3 street transvestites instead of calling one of the many luxury prostitutes he can certainly afford. So this shows that even a man who has everything still desires the darker side of life. We think that the real problem of the Tippelzone in Eindhoven is caused by the Dutch quest for ultimate social perfection and by the paternalistic Dutch government. In the Netherlands, the social welfare system, while helping those in need, can also have the side effect of contributing to the prolongation of some problems, rather than solving them. Instead of being paternalistic, the government should encourage and reward self-initiative and individual self-care. So this is how we see our role as designers.
So our proposal is based on the ideas that the prostitutes have to become at least partially financially responsible for maintaining the Tippelzone, as well as that they should be given other choices of work besides prostitution. We started looking at the international successful Daspo project originated from Brazil, where the prostitutes themselves created a fashion brand to financially support their cause by earning income from another source. In shaping our proposal, we kept in mind that the addicts have fluctuations, and that during the day they can work, productive, and the prostitutes are creative, and also that the work connected in a positive way to society can bring them another sense of reality. And they should be paid on the spot due to the urgency of having money caused by their drug addiction. So the idea is that prostitutes of the Tippelzone in Eindhoven may close in those moments during which they are not too high, and these closes are sold to make money to support the place. However, since the Tippelzone is on the outskirts of society, the red light district in Amsterdam would be the perfect place to sell the clothes, since it's an international brand that is positively connected to prostitution and to drug. The newly implemented red light fashion program in placing prostitute windows is a very successful project in Amsterdam, and we want to make the most out of the new policy to benefit the Tippelzone prostitution as well. We see this program as a trial that, if worked, could possibly be extended to all other Tippelzones in Holland.
Designers interested in participating in this project would have to keep the following considerations in mind. They would need to incorporate the fact that the result of the addicted prostitutes would be imperfect, and they would have to find extremely simple solutions for working with them. Here you can see two products in which imperfection and the fact that the work will be done in parts is executed. So here's a shirt and here's a men's underwear. Well, so this was very well, but then we started checking in reality whether this could be working or not. So we did a series of interviews and workshops.
Well, so to check if our project could be implemented, first we contacted the fashion designer Connie Ronwegen, who works in the red light district, and she became very interested in participating. To get an idea about how a possible future work with collaboration with the prostitutes could happen, Connie designed a preliminary workshop for us to do with the prostitutes. So the three of us went to the Tippelzone, and the resulting workshop was the most important experience we had during the project. Well, to show the crazy experience of students proposing a creative workshop with the addicted prostitutes, where only 2 prostitutes showed up and where the caretakers were the ones most interested, the only medium we found to properly communicate the experience was an illustrated fairy tale book with a bizarre story that exaggerates our point of view. The book is here. Well, these observations in the workshop with the prostitutes led us to a new interview with the caretakers. During this interview, a very controversial picture started forming. There are 2 full-time caretakers per time at the Tippelzone. They are busy with the living room, making soup, coffee, etc. And they write daily reports about each single prostitute without a very clear purpose. While this seems to us like an excessive amount of care, the caretakers were actually trying to convince us that they hardly give the prostitutes any help at all, saying that they only help those who ask for it, which is not the case of the prostitutes, who don't ask for any help. So we are going to show you a video to illustrate this thing that we saw. Pois é, o David, né?
Nou, over de hele situatie, zoals ik het heb gehoord van de huisarts. De hele situatie? Ja, wat komt u eigenlijk voor? Nou, ik kom voor de therapie. Wat voor zeker? U had het heel goed gelezen. Nou, ik ben het best van. Goed gelezen, ja. Hoe wil dat? Ik zeg, hoe wil dat? In dit geval is dat de therapeut-acceptatietherapie. Dat betekent dat ik opnieuw contact ga maken met de familie om te kijken of er ergens iets van het opening is. En dan gaan we even naar het puntje. Ja, ik wilde best even met u praten. Maar ongewoon is. Nou, ongewoon zegt waarom u zo afwijzend reageert op mijn hulpverlening. Omdat ik van eerst hulp nodig heb liggen. En ik volkomen ongeluk. Kijk op. Hoi, maar mag ik dan uw bezwaren noteren tegen de figuur van de therapeut voor mijn onderzoek? Onderzoek?
So, what this new discoveries influence on our project? The changes. The Tipple to Top program could never exist under the present circumstance. So, to symbolize the change and acceptance of this new perspective, we propose to transform the living room into a service room. The people that work over there have the job of consisting to opening the service room, keeping track of the storage, scheduling psychological and medical appointments for the prostitutes, and mainly managing the Tipple to Top tasks. The place is open 24 hours and the prostitutes can work over there whenever they want. Condoms and needles are given for free, but food is not. And they are no longer served by a person. There are machines providing this service. Over there later you can have a look on the model. The prostitutes are now responsible for doing their own dishes and maintaining the space clean.
So our conclusion, after having done all this research and made several interviews and workshops, is that it became clear for us that the From Tipple to Top project is entirely viable. All of those approaches became very enthusiastic about the project. However, it has also become clear that the proposal runs against some problems deeply ingrained in Dutch culture, and much would need to change to implement the program. The interview with the caretakers made us realize that one of the biggest difficulties confronting any change is the tolerant caretaking detected at the Tippelzone. There's nothing intrinsically bad about the actions of the individual caretakers themselves, since they are actually symbolic of the entire tolerant caretaking system and philosophy in the Netherlands. As long as the situation of the prostitutes remains so comfortable, nothing will change. The addicted prostitutes cannot be looked at as an isolated problem, since in fact they are tightly woven in the fabric of Dutch society. Move the situation of the prostitutes a little, and the position of everyone is affected. The contrary is also true. Change the caretaking policy a little, and the circumstances of the prostitutes also automatically changes. Accepting the prostitutes as they are is a double-edged knife. By tolerating them to be sick and incapable women, society actually treats them as such, and by so doing gives them no opportunity to change. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Under this perspective, real change in the Tippelzone will only happen when the whole care system in the Netherlands changes from one of freely giving to one of providing services based on real necessities. We feel that in order to give help, it is necessary to start asking for something back. Thank you. Are there any questions?
I hope there are no questions, because we have run out of time, and I think it was very clear what you have been presenting. Okay with you? Then we go to the next presentation.
Zijn er nou 6? Zie ik dat goed?
1, 2, ja.
Oké.
Ja.
Ik moet uit.
Hello. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm from Korea. Name is Lim. I want to ask, if when your child first encounter drugs, what reaction do you prepare? Enjoy, but you don't forget moderation, or no, it's bad, stop drug. If you choose first one, enjoy by in moderation, maybe nobody can turn and field workers and canalding road and Salvation Army still keep the field and really hard work in the future. But if you choose reject drug, the number of drug addicted will consequently decrease, absolutely, and Tippelzone can one day be closed. So I focused on drug prevention campaign through the game playing for teenagers. Here in Eindhoven has an effective and wide-ranging drugs prevention campaign and program, but not very effective campaign targeting non-drug users, actually. Because of school policies and drug prevention program is extra curriculum. And also now current drug campaign is very like a passive process. Generally, prevention team go off-site to inform, teach, and show. Like this is tool from the Nobody Can Run. But if I use the game instead of current campaign, it become an active process. They are physically involved. Therefore, they make their own judgment and no preaching. It is communication tool between children and parents who are their friends. I show you, like, how can you play? Can you explain more in Dutch?
Lynn die wil nu een spel laten zien, heb ik begrepen. Een spel waarin je kunt kaarten met kinderen onderling, onder elkaar. Waardoor ze aan de hand van de symbolen of de foto's die ze zien in contact kunnen komen met verslaving en andere problematiek. En waardoor ze ook met elkaar gaan communiceren. Het is een soort kwartetspel, heb ik begrepen.
And also I tested some teenager with Eindhoven, the Eindhoven's school.
Best als we daar trainers voor hadden, er zijn die dat eventueel kunnen doen. Dan nog gekend voor de vrede.
Same as alcohol.
Ja.
Ben ik niet. Ja. Dat ben je al geweest. And about the information, there's some like pictures, some nasty pictures on it. So it gives a little information about the drugs and what it does to you. So I think that's good.
This card should be. You should always be able to throw this card.
You would. Okay.
Yeah, but a good game.
It's a nice game, and What tells you a lot about the drugs and what it can do to you?
Oh, zo'n voorlichting over drugs? No.
No?
Here in school?
Yeah.
On the other school, in my other school, we had once here.
Oh, you have not? No.
Here in this school, no. About drugs, you mean?
Yes. No drug.
Alcohol rules. Only rules, you can't bring drugs with you to school, like alcohol or weed or something like that.
Here.
We zitten op een coffeeshop, dus maakt niet uit.
There's no campaign poster you can see.
And sometimes sometimes there is a poster in the hallway, but I don't see it.
Dat je geen drugs in je lichaam zitten. No, I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
No, but I really like the game. It was a good game. And yeah, you got to know, you know more about.
Yeah, they told me like it's really simple rule and they know what is drug and drug is bad. This I think is basic step of education. And maybe you know this is Super Mario. Maybe you know it's a really famous and really popular in the world. So I using the Super Mario game through the game. So if you play with if your children play with this game, they know how to like how bad is drug and how really yeah.
I help you to finish. Thank you. De wethouder vraagt nu om de microfoon. And I give it to her.
Yes. Well, welcome. You're here as long as I am, but very welcome in the City Hall. My name is Mariette Mittendorf. I'm Deputy Mayor of this city and especially responsible for design and for the Tippelzone and for some other things. I want to thank the students. I want to do it now because my agenda says, oh, you have to go. So I like to thank the students from the Design Academy and from the students from the Köln International School for Design. I want to thank the teachers. I want to thank the people from the Stadhuis. And of course, I want to thank Veronique and other people of our in the City Hall being here and being busy with this project. I think we have nice goals to reach, each for us, but I hope we will share the awareness that we have problems, but also that we have possibilities. I hope we will share the information. I hope we will be very inspired what the students have brought, their ideas, their projects. And I hope when we leave this building, we have an awareness that we can solve some problems and have many chances to get a city with a livable life for everyone, every woman, every man in this city. And that is what I hope this event will give us all. So thank you all for coming. There's a nice lunch in a quarter of an hour, but first there are 2 presentations from the students. And thank you all for being here, and lots of success this afternoon.
Thank you, very nice words. So we quickly go to the 4 last projects, and I hand over the microphone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gina. I'm very quickly to say my concept. I try to find 2 different ways of thinking. One is the Western way of thinking, and another one is the Eastern way. And the Western way for me is so organized, and for the Eastern way everything is unclear. But I think both things took under control or unclear, they both have some problem for like this kind of situation. So I'm trying to combine two ways of thinking, and I'm use the truck. The truck you can move to everywhere. And here I saw the truck in open market. They use the truck in the one area, only one day, and after that, and they gone, and the street become like a normal street. And in Taiwan, the truck, we have the very special people. They use truck for the kind of prostitution, but we couldn't say they are prostitution. So they have truck to go anywhere, but the police is difficult to find them. But anyway, my main idea is kind of celebration, because I want to look at this problem and also the prostitution, these kinds, many problems, so heavy, but I want to use more positive way to thinking about. And the truck, and you can see the system is like here. Here, this part is like a living room in Tippelzone. And here is like you can open, is like a walking area. And also the truck, you can go to the, how can I say, I don't want to, because my idea is the location to no location. But here have 3 different places to use the truck to go. You can see first one is the place is behind the highway, and this one is the jetty, and this one is go to the nature. I'm trying to talking about how can I use this truck, and how can I communicate with people, the truck, where are they going. So you can see the balloon. When the balloon rises, you will see where the location is. And where are they? You can find them. So they is like disappear, but actually they are there, and you can see where are they. So I'm talking about like this truck. You can open it. Even you can change the deco. At night it's become like for the prostitution, like stage. And like climb, they can choose which girl they want. And here you can see the system is the same with the Tippelzone. So you can see the truck here, and the climb just use their own car. And when they not walking, the truck can be just like a normal place for them to take a break. Even the doctor can come here to check their health. So I'm trying to combine the Western way of thinking and Eastern way of thinking, and use the truck to go around and everywhere, but it's under control. But it's kind of disappear. But you just keep the memory of you know something happened or you have go some place, but you not really remember where is that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gina. We go to the last project. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia, and the starting point of my project was to research on my own country, which is Austria. And in Austria, prostitution is legal, but it's restricted by several regulations. In Austria, the prostitutes works very covertly and very hiddenly, and they live a kind of double life. And the Austrian society sees prostitution as something ugly and dirty. Yet at the same time, this society, as every other society, needs prostitution. So I wanted to work with this contradiction and also with the double moral standards in society. So the City Council of Eindhoven asked us how can we solve the specific problem of the Tippelzone in Eindhoven, and I redefined this question to how can we solve street prostitution in a long-term perspective, using the specific case of the Tippelzone as a case study. Sorry. So my concept is called From Location to Temporary Location, and it's a future vision for prevention by integration. So in my point of view, the concept of the Tippelzone automatically creates a very negative image in society, because it is located outside of society, disconnected, and it's almost like a ghetto. So I think, or I believe it's not realistic to imagine a system where there is no hidden, no underground, and no forbidden. It is in human nature to be interested in forbidden and in the dark. However, so would it be possible to integrate prostitution into society in a kind of subculture, give it another symbolic value, creating an organic, transparent but free system, and accept it as a part of society? I think when something is part of society instead of left outside, the community itself somehow keep it under control. So starting from the specific problem of the Tippelzone in Eindhoven, I focused on future prevention by integration. The major point is integration. And I think integration could change the behavior of the public to understand, accept and care for the prostitutes. At the same time, the integration might offer to prostitutes a sense of belonging. So during my research, I discovered an interesting theory from Herbert Blumer. It's called symbolic interactisme. And I just wanted to read one sentence of it. The meaning, people act towards things based on the meaning those things have for them, and these meanings are derived from social interaction and modified through interpretation. The meaning of such things is derived from the social interaction that one has with others and the society. So if we could only change the interaction between the prostitutes and the society, we could certainly change the meaning of the phenomenon itself, and this, in my mind, would generate a number of benefits in terms of prevention, safety, integration and well-being. So my scenario for possible solution would be invisible and visible areas around the city, which will offer the prostitution the chance of integration, social interaction and feeling safe. So I focused on two points. One point is the location. I made a research, you can also find in my research book, about different locations in Eindhoven, and you see on the map. So the location is a temporary Tippelzone, and there is the pickup area. These areas would move around the city every week, And I focused especially on the Hoogstraat. So this model is realistic in a scale 1 to 50. And I show in this model a night situation. During the day, you see it here on the picture, it will be closed and it would like normal bollards on a parking place. And at night, when the Tippelzone is opened, you can put it out, and because of a textile, the client can stay anonymous. So how does the scenario look like? The client can locate the prostitutes in the internet and see where this week the prostitute, the pickup area is, and also in a map included there would be the location, the temporary Tippelzone. He would go there, choose a woman. He chose a woman because he sees a kind of reflection. To this part I come later. Pick her up, go to the temporary Tippelzone. Yeah, that's a scenario for the client. So then the clothes, so how does he know who is a prostitute? For me it was very important to make it subtle, the integration, because I think it's important for the safety for the woman, so that she looks like a normal member, a so-called normal member of society, because I think then the public would react in a different way. So the public would help perhaps more because she's normal dressed. So when she goes on the street and is no hooker, it looks like this. And when she is ready to work, then you have here buttons, and this is a reflective ink. So every hooker had a kind of reflective ink lipstick, so she can individually draw on her clothes. Then I just wanted to show some example in clothes how it could work. Or she can open here, so here are reflections. They are also closed with buttons. It's okay. And then another part, another example would be also how the clothes could change in a more sexy way. So she can put up, sorry. So I show one part. Or also the belt, you can turn it around and there's reflective ink. You see on the PowerPoint presentation how it looks and how it reflects. So apart from anonymity, integration and safety, a kind of interaction with society might happen. An interaction that is not only based on the sex business. And I want to finish my presentation with one sentence Adrio said during my process, which was very inspiring for me. He said, safety is not police, it is social safety, which starts with civilization, to take responsibility altogether. Thank you.
Thank you. This was the last presentation of the 6. For me it was very refreshing. I heard over there the designer say something about over the top, but I think if you never go over the top, you will not reach the top. So go over the top and then we will all see what we can do with it. What we can do right now is eat. We have a lunch, and at 1 o'clock I ask everybody to be inside because we have a nice film from Köln and then the German presentation of their work. Have a nice lunch.